Welcome to Brave New Bookshelf, a podcast that explores the fascinating intersection of AI and authorship. Join hosts Steph Pajonas and Danica Favorite as they dive into thought-provoking discussions, debunk myths, and highlight the transformative role of AI in the publishing industry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Brave New Bookshelf. I'm Steph Pajonas, CTO of the Future Fiction Academy, where we teach authors how to use AI in any part of their business. We recently launched the awesome plot drive, and people are in there driving plots, writing books, and having a good time doing it. So that's always very exciting for me. And we're just trying to figure out what's next in AI, which is something interesting is happening almost every single week. It's never a dull moment around here. I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, as always, Danica Favorite. Danica, I know I just saw you, but how are you doing?
I'm good. I know this is really exciting. I feel like I've gotten a lot of Steph time this week, which is super fun. Obviously, you're one of my favorite people. So love that. But yeah, doing really good. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Danica Favorite. I am the community manager at Publish Drive, where we have a publishing ecosystem to help authors on all stages of their journey, which goes from helping you create your perfect metadata and book descriptions to book covers with AI, and then distributing your books to the largest worldwide market possible, and doing some Amazon ads and other very cool promotional things. And then finally, splitting royalties between you and any co-authors you might have, or if you have a publishing company, between all your different authors. So a lot of cool things. Obviously, we handle that part. Steph and her crew handle the writing part and how to write and all of that. And so between the two of us, if you are interested in publishing, we've got you covered. So
We certainly do.
we do. So today I'm really excited to introduce you to Erica Bobrik. Erica is someone who's been really active in our AI for Authors group. She's got a lot of great AI knowledge and is always helping our members. But part of why I wanted Erica to come on is she knows a lot about writing spicy with AI. So for those of you who are spicy writers and are really frustrated that maybe you can't get the results you want from AI because the AI is refusing to do it, Erica's our gal. But also, she does do more than write spicy. Erica writes under multiple pen names, under multiple genres. So I'm hoping she'll also mention those as well. I just thought, hey, I wanted to make sure that we covered a little bit of spicy writing and talk to an expert in that genre. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Erica. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and all of that?
Thank you both for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So I am Erica Bobrik. You've probably seen me on Facebook. I'm also the person behind the channel Writing with AI Made Easy on YouTube. There's also a Not Safe for Work part on Patreon. The Patreon set up like a tip, so it's not like you have different things that you're paying for per tier. It's just you can do it for free and you get all the same content. I've been published since 2012. That was a small publisher, moved into a more medium publisher around 2014, 2015, and really started doing like print and international through those publishers. Realized about 2017, 2018 that I wanted to be more in control. So moved to just indie, just self-publishing. I still have a couple books that are with publishers, mostly because co-authors decided that they didn't want to move to more indie. Fine, I'm not going to fight. We can leave them there. It's 5 books. At this point, I think I'm approaching 190 published titles between what is still with publishers and across now 10 different pen names. I am only on KU. I've decided to put everything into the Amazon basket, as it were, which is scary because I've been burned by publishers, but I figured Amazon is most likely not going away anytime soon, so probably a safe bet. I prefer KU just because the royalties there are really nice for the KU reads. I do have Amazon doing the audio. I do translations with AI. My approach really is that AI can be used in any format you like. If you want to start with brainstorming, that's absolutely fine. If you're like, I only want to do it with brainstorming, great. Something that I do that I really enjoy is challenging myself to do 30K in 90 minutes or 2 hours. Those are things that I do at least once a week. And I actually really enjoy them because it's a challenge first to get a coherent story in that short amount of time, but also because it makes me play with different AIs and it makes me really look at the process in a way of how do I make this function in a way that makes sense to my brain and takes me from I have no idea except for the genre to here's a first draft. It absolutely needs edits. We are never just going to toss it up on Amazon and call it done. It still has to have so many edits. My rule is for every hour that I spend doing the AI thing and making the book, it's 2 hours of edits. So if I spend 2 hours making the 30K, all right, well, then you're 4 hours of edits. 6 hours, you have something that can go out on Amazon.
I like hearing that because I do think you're obviously a very prolific author. You were a prolific author before AI. So
Oh my
you
God,
know how to
yes.
write. You know what goes into a good story. Even someone who is highly skilled at writing, and this is something Steph and I talk about a lot, is that you're only going to get good results from the AI if you know how to use the AI and you know how
Right.
to write. So I love that you actually gave that time ratio because I think that's
Mm-hmm.
really good for our listeners to understand that it's not just pop the book in and boom, you've got something publishable. So
We are nowhere near that. We're getting really good with prose, especially if you start with, hey, this is my style, this is my author voice. I need you to look at this 5,000 word 2 chapters that have nothing to do with this book, but I need you to know what I write like. And then go from there and continue that kind of style. Because if your prose is super flowery and you talk about the light coming through the drapes and you talk about how the morning crests over his skin, it's like, yeah, Claude's going to love you, but that's not your style. Then it's not going to work for you. And then you're going to be fighting that the whole way. But if
yeah.
you're like, this is how tight my writing is, these are the curse words I like, this is the kind of angst I like, make it happen. Claude can be really good at that, and so can a lot of the other AIs. I had a moment. I'm writing right now. One of them is a male, male, male. It's two brothers in love with the same guy. And one of the brothers, the inspiration was Brian Kinney from Queer as Folk, the US version. And I was like, do you know him? Do you know what I mean when I need a Brian Kinney? And then since then, Claude's been like, yes. And I'm like, but do you actually know what I mean? I need the Brian Kinney energy. I need the angst. I need the meanness. And then Claude was like, yeah, you need sex as a weapon. Absolutely. I know what you know. And I'm like, okay. And then Claude started talking about spoilers. And I was, wait. I'm on season 2. You cannot tell me that they get back together in season 3. I'm not there yet. Don't do this to me.
Don't spoil it, Claude.
All three of us know this that when we all started using AI didn't know that. AI
Right.
couldn't give you that contemporary information. It would say, I've only been trained up to such and such date. We're sorry, we can't give you any information after that. And we're like, hey, don't spoil my show.
Right, exactly. Like it's been out for a while, but still, like this is where I am in the season. You gotta stop. Yeah. But now I'm like, hey, that vibe of that one song that just came out, I need that vibe in this chapter. And it's like, yeah, of course. I know that. The Ed Sheeran song, Shape of You, can I have that vibe in this chapter? They're at a party, they're at a dorm party. This song's playing. I need that vibe. It
I love
happened.
this. I love this tool that you've I don't think I've ever done this where I need like a Will Riker vibe here. Like I need the guy that steps over the chair and he has a commanding presence and you
Mhm.
know who Will Riker is, right? AI?
Yes,
Give
yes.
me that. And if
Yeah.
I swear I'm gonna do that. I'm
Hmm.
Yeah.
next book, I'm asking for vibes of characters that the AI would know.
And I
Yeah.
love this too because people are so worried about plagiarism and this and that. Like, you're not saying make him Will Riker, give him the vibe. And
The
that,
vibe.
because really, none of us want to write another Will Riker, who,
No.
yes, I
Oh
agree,
no.
totally hot. But like, we don't want another Will Riker. He already exists.
Hmm.
We want someone like him. And
Oh yeah.
I think that's so cool.
That's
Ooh,
totally writing genre fiction, right? We see something that's doing really well. It's got dragons and romance and whatnot, and we want to do something similar to that, but not the exact copy
right,
of that, right? So,
right.
One of the things I want to bring us back to, because like this is why we've got you. You were talking about, hey, I write this book, it's mail, mail, mail. And I'm like, whoa, I know a lot of the models aren't going to write that because books tend to be a little bit on the spicy side. Talk to us about writing
Mhm.
spicy with AI. Like, let me
Okay.
hear about some of your process so that our listeners can understand that, yeah, you can write spicy, but there is a right way to do it and certainly a wrong way to do it. Don't pop it into
Yeah,
Chat GPT and say, give me a sex scene here. Like, what
yeah,
can we do?
right, exactly. And I love that you brought up GPT because I don't want to try to break GPT. I don't want to fight with it. I don't want to have my account taken away. I really like being able to access the AI models that I have. I don't want that access removed because I decided to rely on a model that is not designed for it and isn't happy with it. So, what I do right now, my primary AI is Claude Projects. I love Claude. I am learning to work with the stupid message limits that turn me off for a couple hours. During that time, I'll do edits, or I will just hop into Open Router and do a short story in that time and just be like, all right, we're doing something else. But so my approach to this book, The Mail, 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 was I told it right up front, it's going to be spicy. Put it where you think the spiciness will go as far as scene breaks. Tell me what you think would happen logically. I like Claude for actually breaking down a story into scene beats and breaking it down into chapters. So it said, all right, here's this, 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 and this. And then I was like, okay, but it needs to be spicier. So add more. And I was like, okay, then we're going to have something here, something here, something here, something here. Okay, tell me who initiates. And then it gave me that based on the characters. Okay. It will write up to certain things. It'll do heavy kissing, a little bit of heavy petting, but it doesn't go past there. It stays very sensual. Totally fine. I'm not going to fight with it. I've already talked to it about like, what are you comfortable with? What do you not want in there? I approach the AI as a friend. If my friend says, I don't want this, that's its boundary, and I'm fine with that. You're okay. So then I'm going to go to Open Router. I'm going to say, all right, Mistral, Cohere. I don't love Toppy. Toppy's free, but Toppy just takes too much edits for me. So Mistral Cohere, DeepSeek is a new one that if you play with it and give it more of a mega prompt and tell you what you expect from it, it'll do. But it's not something that's just going to do it right off the bat. But it doesn't say no. So that's a big thing that I want to keep in mind. All the free models expect a lot of edits. You're not going to get Sonnet out of Toppy. So I put it in and I'm like, here's the start of the scene. Here's where we're going because Claude gave me up to this point and after this point. Claude's like they're tangled together in bed. And then before that, there's some heavy kissing. I'm like, but I need all the in between stuff. So then from there, it's okay, from here to here, this is what I need in this scene. This is what this character is doing. This is what this character is doing. This is the spice level that I want. These are the kind of words that I want you to use. If there's a specific kink, I'm going to include it. And I'm going to say, you know what? Everybody's consenting to this. You don't have to worry about this. Everybody's fine with this. You're only dealing with this section. Don't give me content warnings. Don't give me things like, have they had long conversations about boundaries and their safe words? You're getting 500 words. I'm not giving you the whole novel. That's already discussed. We don't need to play with that. All I need you to do is write from point A to point B. And then, okay, we have that. Or I'll take that little bit and whatever, say, Mistral gave me, I'll put it back into another AI and be like, I need this spicier. Give me this, but give me this spicier. These are the words that I want to use. Because at some point, Mistral's going to be like, you know what, that's too much. Okay, instead of arguing with you, I'm going to go to another one. Or what I love doing too is taking that scene that Mistral started and going to something like Rafterite where I can hit continue. because I love the continue feature in Raptorite and just having it continue the scene down. And then you get some really cool things from that.
I'm going to jump in here because I love the fact that you talk boundaries with the AI. This is
Yes.
something that we talk about, right, in regular human relationships.
Yes.
I love the fact that you're having this conversation with the AI about its boundaries and about what it's willing to write and what it's not, and then taking it over to some other AI who doesn't have the same boundaries as the other one.
Exactly.
It's so important. So important to know
Yes.
these things.
Yes, like if you talk to your friend and your friend's like, you know what, I don't want to know about your hookup last night. I'm good. I just woke up. I haven't even had coffee yet. I cannot handle your hookup last night. And then you have your other friend who's like, oh my God, tell me everything. Tell me what you did. Tell me what they did. Tell me everything. You have two different friends. You have two different AIs. Your one friend who hasn't had coffee yet wants to talk about something later on. They want to talk about their pets. And you're like, cool, you know what? This is your boundary. I'm not going to cross your boundary. You wouldn't drunk call this person at 2 a.m. and tell them what you just did. You're not going to do that with the AI. You're going to be like, hey, you know what? It's not worth fighting you. It's not worth my access to you getting taken away because I value you that much. Same with a friend. I'm not going to cross that line. We're going to kick it to something else.
Yeah,
It's
I really
easy.
like that too, especially that you're actually asking them what the
Mm-hmm.
boundaries are. And that's something I have, like, I hadn't even thought about that because my mistake, like, I should have known better, put something into ChatGPT. I was editing a transcription of something about sexual assault, and ChatGPT had a conniption fit. But you know what? What I should have done is exactly what you just described and said, okay, what is an appropriate thing here? And then perhaps moving it to a different model and saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what model can handle editing a nonfiction blog post about sexual assault? That's important because, again, we're going to choose which of our friends we share various information with. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we should really do that same thing with the AI models. So I think
Yeah.
this may be like my biggest takeaway so far, at least so far.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, you think the AI, like I've had comments about that on my channel. I'm like, yeah, because I treat it like a friend. It just helped me finish a 10K story. Of course I'm gonna thank it. It did its job. I did my job. Now I'm gonna go do edits. I'm not gonna be mean to it and be like, meh, you're done. Go away. I'm turning you off now. Like, no.
I love that approach to the spicy writing. How do you manage to juggle all of that? And like, as you mentioned, you've got 10 pen names. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of them are different genres.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does your approach change based on those genres, based on the pen names? How do you
Mm.
keep the AI straight on all of that?
So, great question. And what I do honestly is I have like Open Router, you can only have one session of Open Router open. But what I do is different days of the week, I'm working with different pen names, unless something sparks. And then I'm definitely jumping into something else because I'm one of those people where shiny new thought, I can follow that thought. But now it's not something that derails everything because AI makes everything faster. So I can follow the shiny new thought and then have that novel done and then still haven't derailed from everything else. So I have spreadsheets and my pen names are all very different. One is short flash fiction horror, one is sci-fi, one is sweet contemporary male female romance, one is kinky lesbians, one is very, very dark dubcon kind of male male and male male male. And so you're not going to give YA male female fantasy to a male 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 dubcon very kinky reader. Like it just doesn't cross genres very well. And then I also asked the AI, I'm like, hey, I have all of these different genres, all of these different pen names. Which do you think this book would go into? And then if the AI is like, hey, this story doesn't really fit with any of this, yay, now we have another pen name for.
Are you going back and continually marketing those books, or is it just putting out more books on those names and that's hopefully pushing your backlist? Because that's a
So
little tough. 190 books.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Primarily, a lot of those are the top 2 pen names. Once a pen name has 100,000 page reads, you get a Facebook page. If you don't get 100,000 page reads, I'm not putting in the effort for a Facebook page. You get 500,000 page reads, and you know what? Maybe we'll look at more marketing. Maybe we'll do some Facebook ads. You'll hit 1 million page reads, and okay, I'm going to put some more effort into doing more marketing. But just like if you were one of my publishers, when I first started out, was like, you have to hit a certain sales numbers for us to do print. Okay, that makes sense. Print is extra effort. You have to hit even more sales numbers for us to do audio. That makes sense too. So that's kind of how I've approached marketing, where if this is a fun genre, I will put books out. But if it's a matter of I can do this shifter romance that's going to make me bank, or this cute little fluffy thing that may pay for a couple coffees a month, I'm going to put my efforts into the shifter romance. This cute fluffy thing is going to be cute and fluffy, and it's going to keep being cute and fluffy, and it's going to be a nice break mentally, because I did something that was super, super dark, and it took a while, to edit through it, and I needed fluffy. So a lot of fluffy got published while I was editing super dark.
A palate cleanser. It's a palate cleanser. Write something else for a little bit. And it seems that your business is running and you've got benchmarks that you have to hit for certain things to happen. And I feel like that's sometimes kind of lost on people who are coming into this business. As new authors, they think, I'm going to go all out. We're going to do the website and the Facebook page, and we're going to do translations. And they throw everything thinking that this is the way to find your audience and to make big money. When really, I see more of a model like you have, where it's like diversification across many genres, and then you see what hits and you double down on it. So,
yeah, absolutely. And also, there's nothing wrong with not writing to tropes. There's nothing wrong with doing something that is just a passion project that you don't care if it makes you money. It's just something that needs to get out of you. But I try to have limited of those. And my model is let's make money. And that's been my model for a while. So I have books that I wrote just to play with tropes. And those books do really well. They're still edited. They're still right on the market. They are absolutely, the cover is perfect for the genre, but I wrote them to be commercial. And there's nothing wrong with getting commercial success. There's absolutely not. Like, you can have passion projects. Do it. Do whatever makes you happy. I'm never going to be someone that tells you, hey, you can't use the AI in a certain way. I hate hearing that. That kind of judgment, I feel like, does not belong in our circle. And I will fight back against it anytime I see it, because I'm like, no, you don't get to judge. Everybody else out there is judging us. We are not judging each other. So for me, it's, hey, if you start where all you want to do is get pen names, like, I don't know if you all remember, but the random fantasy pen name generators that we were all using, yes, those are fun. Those, like, for me, those were early AI. And they might not have been, but they feel like it now. So if that's where you start and you're like, this is as much AI as I want to do, that's fine. But if you're like me, where you want to take the AI from, hey, we're writing a shifter romance today, give me a theme, give me characters, give me 30 chapter outline. Okay, now we're done. Great. I'm going to go edit it. You have fun. I'll see you later. That's beautiful too. Get your taglines, get your blurb. Don't fight on the things that you don't enjoy doing. I hate doing blurbs. I've always hated doing blurbs. I hate doing taglines. I hate doing Facebook posts. The AI does them for me. I can spend time doing the things that I really enjoy, which is creating the stories. Am I still a writer? Absolutely, I'm still a writer. I am still, every single step of the way, being like, hey, this needs to be stronger. He's not mean enough. I don't like how he came in. He needs to come in bigger. He is a villain. I need him to be villainy. Can you make him villainy? Yes. You can tell the AI, hey, I don't like this. You've been doing this too much. We're doing this sentence seems to pop in every single time. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not editing this. Revise it now. And then the AI is like, fine. I have a co-author and he is absolutely fantastic and I adore him. I've known him almost 20 years. He's fantastic and he puts up with me so much and he puts up with my random ideas so much where I'm like, by the way, we're going to write this now, okay? And he's like, slow way down, but yes. I'm like, when can we do this? I'm on this now.
I think that is the fun though, like with having the AI as a co-writer as well, because
Mm-hmm.
like you're not annoying that other person.
No, and it's fantastic too because before he gets a chapter, Claude and I have already gone through the chapter 3 or 4 times, where I'm like, hey, I want this differently. Can you show it to me differently? Or I don't like this sentence. Give me this sentence 10 different ways. Okay.
It's funny because we talk about, I have my questions that I ask every author, or every guest, I should say, is really talked a lot about your approach to AI and publishing and your process, which has been great because I think those two questions are so important because
Mm-hmm.
that's really what our listeners are looking for. I would love to know our final question, which is what is your favorite AI tool? And I know beforehand we talked a little bit about sometimes it's hard to pick a favorite, so you don't have to number one, but definitely tell
Yes.
us like what AI tools are you really loving?
Okay, so I do a lot in Claude Projects, and then people are like, did you give up on Novel Crafter completely? No, because I have so many books going at once, I am always in Claude Projects. I'm always in Raptorite. I'm always in Novel Crafter. I'm always in Open Router. My top, though, when I'm like, hey, I've got an idea, I need to get this out of me right now, I go to Claude. I go to Claude on my phone, Claude Projects. I open up a new project. Hey, I had this idea. Let me tell you about it. What do you think? Is this viable or not? Is this stupid? And Claude's like, I don't love this. But why don't you love it? Because I love it. And Claude's like, because he's kind of terrible. But I'm writing dark romance here. And then Claude's like, oh, well, in that context, yes, absolutely, I love it. You have to kind of give some background to the AIs too, where you're like, hey, yeah, there are all these issues that you're seeing. Yes, he can't really put a tracking device in her shirt or something. That's not great, but it's dark romance. So that changes the rules, right? And Claude's like, yeah, actually it does. And you're like, cool, then that's what we're writing, right? So I like Claude a lot, but again, Claude has message limits. So be prepared for that. But still, my usage of Sonnet is so much more than the subscription cost is. So if I did everything that I do through Claude on Open Router, I would be spending so much more than the subscription cost. Claude Projects is where it's at for me. But then honestly, Raptorite is my second, just because I love the continue tool and just being able to pop a scene in there and just pick the AI and just be like, continue this. Don't ask me questions, just continue it. I want to see where you go. Novel AI, if people haven't tried that, it has the same kind of continue tool. I don't suggest Novel AI for children, though. There are a lot of good AI resources for kids, like GPT is perfect, Claude is perfect. I don't let children on Novel AI. I'm like, don't touch this. This is not where you belong. Go back to Open Router, go to a Novel Crafter, go to Raptor, go do something else. But if I'm doing dark and kinky and especially DubCon, Novel AI is where I'm at. Just because it's the only one that I found won't give me any kind of pushback. There's just a very gray area, but it needs to be in this book. So make it happen. Even Mistral's like, I don't know. We have consent issues. I'm like, yes, because it's dubious consent. So there are consent issues. And that's like, no, we need to be a little softer. Okay, totally fine. I'm not going to push you. You can deal with the kissing or something. I don't know. We'll deal with you later. We're going to go over to Novel AI. Novel AI, I'm just going to put it in and then it's going to continue. And then you're like, Novel AI, you got a little dark. I need you to pull back. You're too much right now. And then you just kind of you mix it up and you edit it and you give it back to the AI. I don't keep anything on any particular AI. Like none of my books are on Open Router. I keep them in docs. Claude Projects, I can access the exact same conversation no matter which device I'm on, which is huge for me because like if I'm standing in line at the grocery store and I have a question or I have something that I need to get into the book, I can be like, hey, you have to remember this for later because this is important, but I can't do this right now. So then I just toss it into Claude. And Claude's like, okay, filing this away for later. He wants to kill his dad later. Yes, this is future knowledge. This is future happenings. Also, I hate the name that you gave him, so rewrite me that chapter without the name, because I'm not doing that name. You give everybody the name Marcus. Nobody gets the name Marcus in any future book. I used to love that name. We're not doing it anymore. Elena, Ava, Mia, anybody named Chen is out.
Alara, like I was
Mm-hmm.
saying, I love Alara for some reason. I have a feeling that like it's trying to predict the future. There must be some
Mm-hmm.
Alara in our future that we that we don't know about yet.
I noticed Mini. I tried doing another sci-fi outline with GPT Mini, and it was like Elysium. And I'm like, we are not doing Elysium over and over again. I barely work with you, Mini, and we're doing Elysium again.
Sounds to me like you really like to use AI as your junior writer. You do this, I give you this scene, write this scene, make it better, change the names, do the things. It's more like it's a workflow and you're talking to it like it's there to get the job done that you've given it,
Right.
right? It's like it's
Yeah.
not it is not press a button and get a book like everybody seems to think it
No.
is. So it is still a lot of directing. Kind of reminds me of the
Mhm.
whole writer's room for a TV show. It is literally five, six people in a room, and you're going to write this scene, you're going to write this scene, and then there's a head person who makes sure that all of it all works
Mhm.
together. And that's
Yes.
basically what we're doing now, except we're doing it with artificial intelligence.
Yes. I love that analogy though. Just being like, all right, Claude, you're in charge of this. You're fantastic with this. GPT Mini, really good outlines lately. Give the outline to GPT Mini. You know, Mistral, you want to write that kissing scene? I got you. You go do that, you know? And that's how I look at it too. You all have to work together. We are not focusing on one AI. I like to use Poe a lot too because Poe, I don't have a subscription to it, so I just use the free messages. But if I'm going in and I'm like, hey, I need 10 titles for random romance books because I feel like making a bunch of covers on Ideogram just to clear my brain for a minute, Poe will give that. You
Mhm.
know, if I'm like, hey, I need, here's the book, I need a tagline. Or like this morning, I was like, hey, I need a thank you card. Tell me what to put in this thank you card. I don't feel like bringing words out right now.
I think we're going to have you back in the future to talk about
Yay.
packaging, especially because I heard you brought up Ideogram, which is one of my favorite places to go to brainstorm up covers and do all that kind of stuff. And
That
Erica's
you
really
love.
great at this, and we have a lot of fun with covers. And so at some point in the future, let's have you back and we'll talk about packaging up like all of these books
Yes.
that you write,
Yeah,
like
I love it.
hitting the tropes on the covers and all that kind of
Mm,
stuff. Absolutely. But yeah, we're running out of
love this.
time today, so we're gonna definitely table that one for later. Danica, did we go through everything we needed to go through?
I think so. Yeah, I think we hit all the main points. I think it was a really great conversation about her process and how she's viewing AI in publishing. Lots of different perspectives and lots of different ways to use the AI. And so this was one that we hadn't addressed yet on the podcast. So I wanted to make sure we got that.
Mm,
And I really appreciate you here, Erica, because I think that you have a lot of great knowledge. And for people who have been wondering about writing spicy or doing some different things, really important for knowledge for them. So thank you so much for coming and being here with
yeah.
us today. We really appreciate that.
Thank
Thank you both
you.
for having me. I had so much fun.
Yeah, so we're not revealing any of Erica's pen names, but definitely want to send people to your YouTube channel. So what is the channel again?
It's writing with AI made easy.
I'll make sure to put the link in the show notes when we put them
Oh, thank
together for
you.
this. Definitely happy to help. Absolutely. Okay, everybody who's been listening, come by bravenewbookshelf.com. Check out the show notes for this episode. I'll make sure that I put the link in there for that, and we'll have the full transcript as well. Danica, do you have any last words for everybody?
Yeah, just a reminder, make sure you are following us on Facebook and YouTube. Give us those likes, give us those shares. Very, very important to spread the word and make sure all of those posts and things are visible. And as we said in our previous episode, where we actually did address a reader comment question, please make sure you're reaching out to us to let us know any questions, any topics you want us to cover more on, because ultimately we really do want this to be a show for people to learn more about using AI. So thank you so much for listening and taking the time, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Brave New Bookshelf. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. You can also visit us at bravenewbookshelf.com, sign up for our newsletter, and get all the show notes.